Welcome back, student. Today we will solve the chapter exercise of page number 126 to 127. Here is the question number 1. If action is always equal to reaction, then how a horse can pull a cart? Did you recall action is always equal to reaction? This is the statement of third law of motion. Correct? According to this law, we can write force of action and force of reaction are always equal and they are opposite in direction. What do you mean by this, student? Does it mean that it has no motion and object do not have any motion? Let us explore. In horse and cart problem, we can observe so many action-reaction forces. As the horse is pulling a cart in forward direction as an action, the cart will pull the horse backward direction. Correct? As a reaction. These two are action-reaction forces and they are equal and opposite. Okay? Now, if we consider horse and cart a system, so weight of this system apply downward. To compensate this force, an upward force will act and this is called force of normal. And normal and weight of the system will equal and opposite to each other. Okay, this is another kind of action-reaction forces. Now, if a cart is moving forward direction, so frictional force will apply in backward direction. These two are also action-reaction forces. Magnitude of these two forces are equal and they are opposite in direction. Now, how does a cart move in forward direction if there are so many action-reaction forces? One more force is there, student. When a horse start walking, so it push the ground in backward direction as an action and ground will push in forward direction as an reaction. These two forces are also equal and opposite in direction. So by third law of motion, we can write force of action and force of reaction are equal and opposite in direction. In which case, when a horse tried to push the ground backward, it is a case of walking. We did the same case of walking in our previous video. Okay, here the negative sign shows the direction of both forces are opposite. If we apply the second law over here, student, just because they are two forces, so we can write, say, forces are always equal to product of mass and acceleration gained by the object. So here the force of action, which is applying force of action, the horse is applying as a force of action in backward direction. Okay, so we can write mass of horse and acceleration produced or gained by the horse is equal to force of reaction. The reaction force is applied by ground. Okay, so ground is pushing the horse in forward direction. Okay, so we can write the force as a product of mass of earth and the acceleration gained by the earth. Okay, acceleration, earth will gain acceleration as an action of horse push. Okay, and a horse will gain the acceleration as a reaction force of horse, reaction force of ground. Okay, now the both terms are equal, student, and the both terms are the product of two individual variable. Do you compare the two masses? Here we can write mass of earth and mass of horse. What can you say? Mass of earth is much more higher than the mass of earth. Therefore, we can conclude that means acceleration gained by horse is much more larger than that the acceleration gained by the earth. Why? First thing, do you think that horse will push the ground backward and ground will push in the backward direction? No, obviously not. Because earth is a huge thing. A horse cannot push the earth in backward direction. So we can suppose the acceleration gained by the earth is approximately 0. Okay. If you do not understand, we can take an example. Here I am writing 24 is equals to 24, and we are taking 24 is a factor of two numbers. Can we write 24? We can write 12 into 2. Again we can also write 24 as a factor of 6 into 4. Now observe these two terms in student, both sides are equal to each other. But the number, if you observe, the first number of both term 12 and 6, can you observe this in second term 6 is decreasing or smaller than 12. And if you compare the both term, second term of both term 2 and 4, can you observe 4 is larger than 2. Okay, so what do you observe? If first term is higher, the second term is smaller. If first term is smaller, then the second term is larger. Means if two terms are equal, so we can equalize two term as if the first term are increasing, so second term are automatically decreasing, so that the two term can be equalize each other. Here what will happen? Here we can understand. Again we are going to our question, that mass of horse and acceleration of horse, which is a mass of earth, is increasing, so that the acceleration gained by the earth will decrease. Why? Because this term is equal to another product. Mass of horse is smaller, so that the acceleration gained by horse will increase. Correct? So that these two term will be balanced. Two side will be balanced. So clearly what we get? Here we are writing that acceleration gained by the earth will become 0 just because we cannot push the ground backward. This is the only reason that horse will gain the acceleration. Even in our case also, when we try to walk on ground, we push the ground backward and ground will push us forward and we move. Okay, because acceleration, we gain the higher acceleration than that of the ground. So acceleration produced in horse, okay, horse will gain the acceleration, and due to, this is for what? Due to reaction force of ground. Okay, when ground will apply reaction force, the horse will gain the acceleration and start moving in forward direction. Correct? This happens, student, whenever horse will pull a cart, and this is not the example of horse is pulling a cart. In every example, when we are when something is trying to push or pull, okay, and when we walk, so how it will happen? Here this question, the purpose of asking this question is to differentiate the two concepts. That is, the action reaction forces are not always equal to balance forces. There are a difference between action reaction forces, student, and balance forces. Balance force cancel out the effect of each other, so there will be no motion or uniform motion. But action-reaction forces, the object will continue to move and it gains acceleration. Now here the question number 2. Explain why it is difficult for a fireman to hold a hose which ejects a large amount of water at a high velocity. With eject, I think here it is mistaken. Okay. Why it is difficult for a fireman to hold a hose? This is in picture you can see the hose from which the water is coming out with a higher velocity. Okay. Now what happens? From this pipe, the water is ejecting out with a very large velocity in the forward direction. Okay. So if direction of force we can consider as an action force. Okay. So there must be a reaction force in the opposite direction. Okay. According to third of law of motion, no force exists alone. Correct? So water is coming out in the forward direction, so there must be a reaction force acting in the opposite direction. And these two forces are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. We can write F of A is equals to F of R and direction are opposite. Okay. Now, as a reaction force, because reaction force is taking place, so due to this reacting force, if someone hold this pipe, so it will experience a force of reaction, and due to this force of reaction, it is difficult for a fireman to hold a hose pipe. I think it is clear, student. Now question number 3. From a rifle of mass 4 kg, a bullet of mass 50 gram is fired with an initial velocity of 35 meter per second. So let us suppose a rifle or a mass of gun is 4 kg and mass of bullet is 50 gram. So gram is not standard unit. So we can write mass of bullet in terms of kg as 0.5 kg. Correct? Now when it is fired, the initial velocity 35 meter per second. The bullet gains the velocity 35 meter per second after firing. So I am writing over here by V, not U. Notice as the initial velocity I am writing as over here final velocity, because initially the bullet was in the gun. Okay, inside gun. So if the bullet is moving in forward direction as a force of action, the gun will also move in the backward direction as a force of reaction, because no force exists alone, student, by the third law of motion. So there are combination of two forces, for action forces and reaction force. If gun will move in the forward direction, the rifle will move in the backward direction. Correct? Now here we can apply the law of conservation of momentum. Why, student? Because bullet and gun are making a system. Why we are saying so? Because when the bullet is not fired, the gun and the bullet are combining or forming a momentum. And when it is fired, it is developing another momentum. Correct? And according to law of conservation of momentum, momentum never be created nor be destroyed. So we can compare the momentum before the collision or before the firing should be equal to the momentum after firing or after collision. This is the only statement of law of conservation of momentum. Now, what was the momentum before collision, student? When the gun was not fired, the bullet and the gun was in rest. If they are in rest, their velocity should be 0. So I am writing over here gun plus bullet. They both are forming a system and they both were in rest before firing. Correct? And what happens when we fire? So they develop another momentum. So after collision or after firing, gun and the bullet both are in motion. Correct? Now, if we have to find out the momentum of both the gun and bullet, I can represent over here as momentum of gun plus momentum of bullet when the condition was in rest. And here I am writing the momentum of gun plus momentum of bullet when the condition of they both were in motion. This is the only representation, student. Might in your copy or another book it is represented with another form. So here I am only representing it that way, we can more understandable. Here the momentum is the product of mass and gained velocity. As the both were in rest, so I am writing over here as the velocity as 0. Correct? When they both are in motion, so momentum is a product of mass of gun into velocity gained by the gun and the mass of bullet and the velocity of bullet. Correct? Now the left hand side will become 0 and the mass of gun as 4 kg into velocity of gun is not given. So here we are writing as V of G plus mass of bullet. Mass of bullet is 0.5 kg into mass of velocity of bullet is 35 meter per second. So it is multiplied by 35. Correct? Now just splitting over here. Left hand side is 0. So minus of 4Vg. 4Vg is transposed in another side. So it will become negative. And here we are multiplying 0.05 into 35. It will become 1.75. Now V of G we can transpose and solve. 1.75 divided by 4. Now what will be the answer? Velocity of gun will be equal to 0.4375 meter per second. And this is what? This is the recoil velocity of a gun. And what is recoiling? Recoiling means moving in backward direction. Correct? As a result. So when a bullet will move in forward direction, the gun will move in backward direction. Here you have already always observed beta mass of bullet. You observe that mass of bullet is very less as compared to mass of gun. So what do you get? You get that velocity of bullet is much higher than the velocity of gun. And this is the concept we have learned earlier also in previous slide. Okay. Now we are trying to solve question number 4. In question number 4, two objects of masses 100 gram and 200 gram are moving along the same line. So here it is given, student, two massive objects. Okay. They are moving with the velocity 2 meter per second and 1 meter per second respectively. And after that they collide. After the collision, the first object moves at a velocity of 1.67 meter per second. Determine the velocity of second object. So let us consider two objects. One first object of mass 100 gram and the second object with the mass 200 gram. As the both are not in the standard unit, so we will convert these both is in kg. So it will become minus 0.1 kg and 0.2 kg. Both are moving in same direction. So let us suppose velocity of first object as u1 is 2 meter per second and velocity of second object as u2 as 1 meter per second. Correct? Now what is given, student? They are colliding. Obviously here you can observe the initial velocity of smaller object is greater, and when the object have the greater velocity, then it's the possibility only that they will collide. ओके ना. इन प्रीवियस वीडियोज़ वी हैव लर्न ऑल्सो, पीछे वाले ऑब्जेक्ट अगर तेज़ स्पीड में आएगा तभी वो आगे वाले ऑब्जेक्ट से कोलाइड होगा, टकराएगा. एंड व्हाट हैपन व्हेन टू ऑब्जेक्ट कोलाइड? Two objects will interact each other, means they will apply force onto each other, and these two forces are equal and opposite in direction. Correct? So we are writing F of 1 2, that means force of first object onto second object, and F of 2 1 as force of second object on first object. It is equal and opposite by the third law of motion. Okay. Now what will happen when two objects collide? After collision, as the impact of the opposing force, they will move in the direction but with the changed velocity. Okay, they will move in whatever direction, but they will change their velocity after the interaction of two of them. So let us suppose that first object is moving with the v1 final velocity and it is given 1.67 meter per second, and the second object will gain some velocity or changed velocity v2, but it is not given the value of second object. So we need to find the velocity of second object that has been gained by second object. So here you can clearly see this question is an example of conservation of law of momentum. And what do we know about the conservation law of momentum? When two objects collide, the momentum before their collision is always equal to the momentum after their collision. Okay. According to this law, momentum neither can created nor be destroyed. Now, what is the momentum before collision, student? Before collision, object has m1 mass and u1 velocity, and momentum is the product of mass and velocity. Correct? So for the first object, we can write its momentum as mass m1 into velocity u1. Correct? And for the second object, its mass m2 into u2. Similarly, after collision, mass of first object as m1 and its final velocity v1. By placing the value, you can see all the values are placed. It will gives the value 0.2 plus 0.2 is equal to 0.167 plus 0.2 into v2. All the value are given, student. Here in left hand side we will get 0.4 and the product is equal to 0.167 plus 0.2 into v2. Now 0.167 will be subtracted from 0.4 is equal to 0.2 into v2. Now As a subtraction, we will get the value 0.233 divided by 0.2 is equal to V2. Now solving these two, what we will get? We will get as an answer 1.165 is equal to V2, or we can say the velocity of second object after their collision is 1.165. Correct? Velocity of second object. So here student, we have finished the 4 questions of page number 126 to 127. I hope you understand all this concept. Thank you.